So now that I've had my Galaxy S24 Ultra for about a month now, I think it would be the perfect time to give you guys the type of after the honeymoon kind of phase is over, right? The excitement is gone, it is no longer the shiny new toy, and we all know whenever we get a new thing in the house, we kind of tend to block out the negative and only look at the positive because it's new, and whenever something is new, we kind of like it a little bit more than whenever the excitement is gone. Well, now the excitement is gone, and I still love this thing. In fact, I'm going to tell you why I actually choose this over my very own iPhone 15 Pro Max. So one of the things that I really enjoy about this phone, and I have like zero anxiety about it, is the battery life. It has been simply incredible, and that is all thanks to that new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 made for Galaxy. It is super efficient with heat and battery life, and this phone has just been it's been a pleasure to use. I'm getting around 7.5 to 8 hours of screen on time daily, which is just bonkers. And by the way, that is actually with light mode enabled. I don't use dark mode. Well, I have it scheduled so at night it automatically goes to dark mode, but during the day, like right now, it's on light mode. And I don't know if you guys could see this, but I have the feature where you could see the wallpaper. It's too bright in here, the wallpaper's too dim, but you can see the wallpaper with the always on display. I have that feature enabled, so I'm basically using the phone from like out of the box settings, and I didn't have to change anything to get that incredible battery life. Another thing I appreciate from the S24 Ultra as a daily user is the heat management. Again, that Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is not a joke. That thing is insane. So just as an example, a couple days ago, I was downloading a playlist. It was a little over 1,000 songs, and while I was downloading that playlist over cellular data, I was also using my GPS in the car. I was doing all that simultaneously. This phone did not warm up at all. I mean, it acted like it was just whatever for it, you know? Which is just a nice change over my iPhone 15 Pro Max or even the Pixel 8. By the way, if you guys don't know, if the cooler your phone is over a longer period of time, the better that is for your battery capacity. If your phone is constantly heating up and getting hot, your battery does not like that, and it's just not going to last you a long time as the months and months go on. So a phone that stays cooler for longer is going to be the clear choice for longevity. And now that Samsung has promised us 7 years of OS updates, that's insane. And also, I must mention, Samsung is still running insane deals on the Galaxy S24 Ultra, so you can get up to $750 of trade-in credit, and you also get a free S View wallet case. So if you're interested, I'll go ahead and put a link down below. I have no idea when those deals are going to end. They don't tell me, so take advantage of it if you want. Now, if you guys know me, you know I do not like using cases on my phones. I like to feel the phone naked, right? Because whenever a company changes a new design on a phone from the previous model, if you go ahead and slap a case on it, you don't really get the chance to feel the new design. But of course, that also means greater risk of damaging the phone. Well, even after a month of using the phone, I know there's a lot of fingerprints on it. Don't worry, I'm going to put a B-roll right now to make it look all pretty, but there are absolutely no scratches anywhere on the phone. Not the back, not the glass, not the titanium sides. This phone has been pretty darn good, and I don't really baby my stuff, mainly because I have Samsung Care Plus. So if this phone does get damaged, I'll have it replaced for basically like cheap. I don't know how much it is. I think it's like $30 or something. So I'm not really worried about it. So I don't baby my phone. I kind of throw it around in the car. I throw it on the desk. Just nothing. The phone is in perfect condition. In fact, I could probably sell it and label it as brand new. I'm not going to do that because I think that's fraud. So yeah. The next thing that makes me pick up the S24 Ultra over my very own iPhone 15 Pro Max is the actual display. Look, listen, I know I mention this in every single video, but that's because it's true. It is actually something that as a daily user, you will notice. Like, it's impossible to not notice this every single time you pick up the phone. But the reflectivity it is just next level. I mean, we you know, all these companies are releasing phones with 3,000, 4,000 nits of brightness, but the screen is still super reflective, and that kind of defeats the whole purpose. I mean, all you're going to see is just reflections and a brighter display, but you're still going to see the reflections. A brighter display does not fix that problem. So Samsung comes out and they're like, we can do both. And it is just incredible. Look, you can see my laptop on the iPhone screen. You can see my laptop clear as day. It's like a mirror. But if I get the angle right there, you can see that you can barely see the laptop with the S24 Ultra. Look at the difference. I mean, it is massive. It is actually something that I think that's the biggest change. In fact, I would upgrade to the S24 Ultra just because of that. This plays a huge role whenever you're outside, whenever you're using GPS outside, whenever you're doing anything outside in the sun. The display on the S24 Ultra is just miles better than the 15 Pro Max. It is the biggest leap that I've personally seen as a reviewer. So this next one isn't exactly exclusive to Samsung, but since Samsung does have it, I'm going to mention it. So we all know Google Assistant, right? Google Assistant compared to Siri is miles better. Well, now it's even gotten much better. Now, if you guys don't know, you can actually replace Google Assistant with Google Gemini, which is Google's new AI kind of GPT. In fact, I think it's going to be the default if it isn't already, but it's unfortunately only available here in the US. So the way it works is simple. You can say the same phrase that you've been using over and over again to activate it, or you can activate it by simply swiping up from the bottom corners. Now the cool thing is that you can type to it, you can talk to it, or you can actually take a photo of whatever you want and ask it whatever you want. So just as an example, I took a photo of some alcohol I had laying around. By the way, drink responsibly, don't be an idiot, no one likes that, you're not cool for doing that, you're not showing off to your friends, trust me, they don't care, okay? But anyway, I took a picture of some alcohol I had laying around the house and I asked Gemini, hey, what kind of a drink could I make with this? Now, look, I obviously knew it's like the most basic drink combo ever, but it actually told me like, yeah, this is this bottle, this is that bottle, this is this bottle. I don't recommend mixing sweets. I recommend using a little bit of lime juice. It talked to me like a normal person would talk to me. Meanwhile, Siri doesn't even know like where I am. The amount of times I asked Siri the most basic questions, she's like, I don't know, ask me again in a little bit. Like, what? Having Google Gemini built into the phone might be a small thing, but hey, if it makes my life just a little bit easier, I'm all for it. So let's go ahead and talk about the cameras on the S24 Ultra. They have been extremely good and really reliable. And look, are they better than the iPhone? Well, there's no real winner. In fact, it's impossible to call one phone better than the other whenever it comes to cameras. Sometimes the S24 Ultra takes the better photos, sometimes the iPhone takes the better photo, and that's completely fine. You're not going to find a phone that takes the best photo in every single scenario. That's just not possible. The most important thing is that neither the iPhone or the Samsung has ever given me a bad photo, and as a user, that's all I care about. But the one aspect that the iPhone still kind of excels at is video. I mean, especially now with 4K 60 ProRes support, it is absolutely bonkers. In fact, I've been using iPhones to record my YouTube videos with for over a year now. I started last January. So yeah, this video right now is being recorded using the selfie camera, the front-facing selfie camera of my iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now, does this mean that the S24 Ultra takes bad video? No, of course not. In fact, I think it's going to be just good enough for like 99% of people. And now that Samsung finally supports switching between all the lenses while recording in 4K 60, that's what I've been asking for the longest time. Samsung, thank you. I honestly think Android has not only caught up to iOS, but actually surpassed iOS. And I'm not talking about just like speed and performance. The average person does not going to know, they're not going to know a difference between the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and the 8 Gen 3. The average person, right? They're not going to know what phone has what. But I'm talking about the actual user experience. I'm talking about the actual convenience. And this phone, for my month of using it, oh boy, it's been super convenient. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, please leave me a like. It's absolutely free to you, but it helps me and the channel out a lot, and I always truly appreciate it. And again, don't forget about those deals for the S24 Ultra. I'm going to have them linked down below if you guys are interested. And if you guys are new here, consider subscribing. This was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.